It's that time of the year when business and thought leaders from across the globe gather together in the City of London to discuss corporate governance, sustainability, and the role of boards in shaping businesses. Hello and welcome, I'm Samriti Grover and you're watching the 18th London Global Convention presented by the Institute of Directors.
London has always been the center for corporate governance for decades. So I think it is important not only from a location point of view, but from the point of view of the ideas that get generated, the thinking that goes on governance standards, and from that point of view, an ideal setting to have this conversation.
IOD, in my opinion, is the primary platform because this is where we get to interact with prospective investors in India and more specifically in Maharashtra.
The 18th London Global Convention was held at Hotel Montcalm, Marble Arc, right in the center of the city. And the theme for this year's convention focused on board's transformational strategy for building a sustainable paradigm.
The world is very small. We have to be together. We have to join in every aspect, whether it is politics or whether it is economy, because we cannot, with one hand, we have to put hands together, to enable us to succeed.
Corporate governance moved into the modern age. It's not just about having an old board now that sits in the boardroom. It's really about having a board that looks beyond the boardroom and says, what do the people feel that I'm serving? What does the community want that I'm serving? And really building a sustainable business model.
We commenced the three-day convention with a global business meet held at the House of Lords in the UK Parliament to chart a roadmap for promoting business and investments for prosperity and a better world.
This is really beyond governments and rules and regulations. This is really what causes business and finance to function so well in the world. With so much disruption in governments and this kind of thing, somehow the world keeps working. How is this possible? It's because of good governance of city, other corporations, and so on. And IOD is leading in these areas.
I think it's a tremendous platform, and I think there's a very open dialogue between the business leaders, the government leaders and others, and the subject of good governance and the changes in that at the moment with all the changes that are going on in the world, from technology to different government rules to millennials' desires in the workforces to expectations of different stakeholders, is such a complex area, and I think exchanging ideas and coming up with good solutions is really fantastic.
The inaugural session set the tone for the convention with eminent voices discussing and sharing their views on corporate governance and sustainability in today's business environment. Let's take a look.
It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all for this 18th World Congress or London Global Convention here. Today, brand value stems from public perception of the difference they make to the society, and not by the size of the profit that a company makes. Most corporate governance codes follow OECD principles through a comply or explain code, and if corporate governance, basically is no more just a hygiene. The boards have to explore and create a new responsible world, diverse with ethical culture, set direction and strategy for the company, direct and not manage the organization, turn compliance to a value-driven process, and provide leadership for digitally driven crisis.
So we gather here in London today to discuss some of the most pressing issues in the business world, and by extension, civil society. Corporate governance and sustainability are the central themes of this event, and have been chosen for good reason. Both are fundamentally important to the very essence of modern commerce. In fact, it's almost impossible to separate the two. And as leaders of industry, they should be front of mind. I urge you all to direct your teams to act now to create a better world, for a better future for the generations to come.
Until recently, I had the honour of representing Tata Capital PLC in London, where, like everyone else in the Tata Group, I had to sign up to the Tata Code of Conduct. Here's a couple of quotes from that. "We will be fair, honest, transparent and ethical in our conduct. Everything we do must stand up to the test of public scrutiny." And the pitch to our Tata Capital customers was, "We only do what's right for you." And we meant it. And I certainly slept better as a result. Now, in the long run, I think leadership behaviour is closely linked to the value of your corporate brand. Quality, value for money, and fair ways of winning a market will lead to a favourable public image and will win you consumer trust. So be patient, and ethical conduct will give you a competitive edge in the end.
Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation has maybe the largest industrial development corporation of our country, particularly in the state, which has close to around 85,000 hectares of industrial land at the disposal, which has like all the factors of sustainability is been captured when the organization is been envisioned to develop a balanced industrial development, economic development across the state, where like public amenities, mobility, green and clean effects, safety and security, and access to health by providing institutional setup, access to health and education, and giving a vibrant ecosystem. We would be facilitating maybe the best, in a best possible way, to set up a business in our state.
Effective corporate governance is nothing without a motivated and productive workforce, and one that is internationally minded in the outlook. When individuals see the world from a wider global perspective, then it will benefit them, you and wider society as a whole. I once again congratulate General Ahluwalia for making this convention a success, and I encourage him to continue the great work that he and the IOD are doing. India will be better off then.
The theme of today's event, the board's transformational strategy for building a sustainability paradigm, is very apt and timely. Good governance, growth and sustainability are the major primary drivers of economic growth today. I'm glad to see that the Institute of Directors India is committed to development of sustainable enterprises through best practices of principled corporate governance and sustainability. Such annual London Global Conventions organized by the IOD since 2003 here have been a great opportunity for Indian directors for global networking to ensure that leadership with special focus on ethics and risk management for development and governance can really become lasting and sustainable.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, leadership, corporate governance, corporate social responsibility and ethics are the major defining characteristics of sustainability for an organization. And those qualities are driven by leaders, by people such as yourselves. You have to deal with modern technology, changing technology. You operate in a high-pressure environment, an environment where decisions have to be taken quickly with massive consequences. And that's where boards are so important and central to the governance of companies. I say that I, for one, am optimistic, and we will try to make our small contribution to the global effort for a prosperous world.
Across the world, the whole focus has shifted to on how we can make the corporate more accountable, more responsible, and looking at long-term and not just short-term gains.
The difference here today is more honesty and more the truth of what happens across the world. We actually don't need more transformational thinking, we've got loads of it. The fact is we're not using it. So we do need an honest appraisal of the way our problems are shaping and why we're not addressing those problems. And I have to say today, I heard that more than any other time before.
ACCA has been collaborating with the Institute of Directors for over a decade now, and we've seen that the convention here in London going from strength to strength in terms of bringing together key policymakers, business leaders, government officials to drive economic growth for those businesses, and particularly, of course, focusing in India but with a global audience.
The event also saw the release of the convention souvenir and winners digest in the midst of an August gathering.
The theme that we were talking about, corporate governance, is so important because how companies are governed makes all the difference in the performance of a company, in the trust in business.
Business is not isolated from society. Companies operate within their social environment, and corporate governance can be that key bridge, that key framework that allow good business decisions to be made.
Especially at a time when you're seeing so many large-scale corporate issues. We've seen several companies be in news for the wrong reasons, and the role of the board is becoming very important. The role of independent directors is becoming very important. So I think it's very important to discuss these issues and also implement them in the right manner.
It is a platform which allows for the evolution of thought processes. It is a platform where we see cohesion, we come together, where we have to say that all must thrive for us to continue to exist.
Time for a quick breather. On the other side, we get to the presentation of the Golden Peacock Awards at the 18th London Global Convention presented by IOD. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching the 18th London Global Convention presented by the Institute of Directors with me, Samriti Grover. Now, the Golden Peacock Awards are considered as the holy grail of corporate excellence worldwide. We get you the prestigious award ceremony right here from the heart of London.
And it's an absolute honour and a pleasure to be here with you tonight for the Golden Peacock Awards. Many congratulations to those of you tonight who are being recognised and honoured. These awards are a hallmark of excellence, both locally and globally, and carry much respect and admiration in our industry. And I'd like to thank IOD for hosting tonight, and I congratulate you all on your achievements.
We are seeing that programs like these, the talks that we have, the corporate communications that are held between people, between the corporates, and what they carry back to their respective companies and countries, lead to a lot of change, lead to a lot of growth in the business environment. The people most responsive to change, the people who have adapted themselves to long-term sustainability would be the ones that will not only survive, but they will grow. And my wishes to all of you here that let's all grow together.
It is about not just coming and attending, listening and taking some notes, but it's about those relationships that we forge, we take away back to our businesses, to our countries, to make sure that corporate governance, sustainability, transparency, efficacy are all part of the business models that we wish to see, not just for our businesses, but for all businesses.
The first award this evening is a Lifetime Achievement Award in Corporate Governance. And this evening we are very pleased to offer this Lifetime Achievement Award to Professor Mervyn King.
And to be placed at the same level as Adrian is a great honour for me, because when I wrote the third iteration of my corporate governance report, Adrian Cadbury launched it and said, the King report is actually leading the world on governance. So I'm sure wherever he is tonight, he'd be delighted that I'm receiving this award.
Second award this evening is one of the IOD's Distinguished Fellowship Awards. This is to Donald Bryden.
I've been involved in corporate governance for almost all of my working life. First as an investor and then as a corporate, so I was a genuine poacher turned gamekeeper. I know how important a strong focus on corporate governance is to ensure that we deliver shareholder value in a responsible and a societally receptive way. So thank you again to the Institute of Directors for your leadership in championing this key topic.
The third individual award this evening is also a Distinguished Fellowship Award to Sir Richard Stagg.
I'd like to thank the IOD for this probably rather undeserved honour that they have given me this evening, to really praise them for what they do, because I think there's nothing more important that, for Britain at least, than having a very strong, stable and well-founded partnership with India. And it will always have many different facets, but I think in many ways the business relationship is the most important single one, because that generates the energy, the motivation and the direction which helps to ensure that the rest of the relationship flourishes as well. So thank you very much indeed, and I wish the whole of this conference a very successful conclusion.
The extraordinary procession of companies going through is a big testament to the Golden Peacock Awards, just the sheer range of sectors and companies of real note, both nationally in India and indeed internationally. It's become a very prestigious set of awards.
This conference demonstrates and comes to establish that, again, more than ever, we need governance for sustainability.
I've met a lot of people across the world which had a lot of new things to coming up in discussions which we have just heard or Googled about it, and now we met the best of the best CEOs of the companies where they shared their experience of works, which will be a takeaway cake for us back home.
What is the response of business? And this is where I think business need to think about the fact they need to be offering much more flexible working. You know, as you get older, you may have caring responsibilities for your parents or others. And when I talk to businesses in the UK, that is something they're absolutely recognising. And I think this is all part of that whole discussion around sustainability as well. Huge congratulations to all the winners. And please, if I can leave you with one thought as well on this, is that inclusion is what is going to help you deliver more profitability and more sustainability. So please put that into action in your businesses.
I think it's a very interesting platform where the business and the government both can get together and work towards creating those kinds of governance points which is required for corporate sustainability in the long term. I think they have been doing a very good job, and I think going forward, I think this is a very good platform to continue.
kind of quality of the speakers that we have here is very, very good, and the diversity. It's very, very interesting to sit and listen to everyone really talking and really learning a lot of things in a very short period of time.
First of the Golden Peacock Global Awards, first sector is BPO, and the winner of that is GENPACT Limited. In the IT sector, the winner of the award is MAHINDRA Limited from India. In the engineering sector, we have ROLLS-ROYCE Holdings Limited. Global Award in Sustainability is the oil production area, and the winner of the award this year is Emirates National Oil Company. In the power sector, the winner this year is the SSE PLC from the UK. From the PSU side of the financial services sector, we have the Rural Electrification Corporation from New Delhi. In the IT sector, the winner of the award is TAKE Solutions Limited from Chennai. The second sector in this award is electrical equipment. SCHNEIDER Electric India Private Limited.
It's a wonderful platform, informative platform, but most importantly, it is the networking and exchanges between Britain and India.
Well, I think it's really important to have these meetings where we can meet our people from across India, from Britain, bring them together, because it's only by collaboration that we're really going to make a difference.
What we want to take out from this conference is a strategy for these changing times that allows business leaders in particular to have a clear understanding of the steps that are needed today, the kind of partnership that's necessary for them to excel.
With that, it's a wrap on the 18th London Global Convention 2018, an engaging platform that determines effective board practices in this digital age. We promise to meet you next year in this financial hub of the world. Till then, thank you for watching and goodbye.